This morning I want to talk about want. W-A-N-T. Want. If you want to do something, you will find a way to make that happen. Again, there's a saying, where there's a will, there's a way. I find that especially true when it comes to learning. I'm a teacher. A little context on this. First, I think it was last year or 2 years ago. You know how Facebook has a way of saying, on this day, so many years ago. Well, yesterday, my on this day was an image I had shared. It was a quote from some coach of a collegiate softball team. And it said, uncoachable kids become unemployable adults. Let them get used to somebody being tough with them. It's life. Get over it. And at the time, I really liked that. Now I've grown in maturity. I've grown in just physicality. And I revisited that and I shared it again, but I said, the first time I shared it, I changed uncoachable to unteachable. I said if we change uncoachable to unteachable, that saying is still applicable. Unteachable kids become unemployable adults because they're not used to somebody being tough with them. It's life. Get over it. Well, yesterday I revisited that and I changed unteachable to unwilling to learn. Okay, so it now reads, kids that are unwilling to learn will be unemployable because they're not used to somebody being tough with them, or they're not used to having a tough situation. And I realized that I didn't change anything else about the quote, but it's not mine to change. If I changed it completely, then it would be not the same thought. So this sparked a little bit of a discussion on my Facebook page, which ultimately led to the idea that I was saying it's life, get over it, life is tough, to everybody. And whether they wanted to learn or not, that was not the saying that I should be expressing. I disagree. I think that is 100% the saying that I should be expressing, that all teachers should be expressing. I already changed from unteachable to unwilling to learn, meaning every single person that wants to learn can be taught. Whether they are or not, I don't know. Okay? Sometimes teachers don't have the resources. Sometimes teachers don't have the time. But if somebody wants to be taught, they will find a way to learn. They will give their best effort on their end, which will then match the effort being given on the other end from the teacher, from the boss, from the parent, from whoever. You cannot force a person to want to learn. You can force a person to sit in a chair and watch a presentation and, take a test. You can force people to do that. You cannot force them to want to do that. So my stance on this still remains that if you are unwilling to learn, which there may be a very fair few people in this world that applies to, but if you are unwilling to learn, you cannot have a successful career. Every single job out there, from the simplest to the most difficult, from the lowest wage to the highest yearly salary, involves some type of learning. And if you are not used to a situation being hard and challenging you, which life is, any situation that comes up in life has the potential to be challenging. And if you're not used to things being tough and learning how to get over that, then you will not achieve the success you're looking for. But if, by very definition, if you're looking for the success, then you must be willing to do what it takes to achieve that. So my point remains, if you are unwilling to learn, not if you can't learn, not if somebody doesn't have the time to teach you, if you don't want to learn, you cannot be taught. Again, I take that back. You can be taught. If you don't want to learn, you won't. Simple as that. You won't fill in the blank. You won't graduate from high school. You won't get a good paying job. You won't have the things that you want because you are not used to it being hard. At least that's the way it should be. More and more, we've made it so easy for people to get what they want without having to work for it. That's not any way to live, folks. You may get what you want, but you won't feel good about it. You won't feel accomplished. You won't feel as though you've earned it. You'll just feel entitled to it. We've already talked about that. What it means to be entitled. Take responsibility for yourself. Get used to things being hard because life is hard. If you don't believe me, watch the scene in Rocky Balboa, the most recent one where he talks to his son. I see that speech come up all the time. And yes, I realize it's a movie, but it's still applicable. Nobody hits as hard as life. But it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's the truth. You know? You have to be willing to learn from something, no matter how it's given to you. You have to be able to want to learn. You don't even have to be able to. You just have to. You have to want to learn, or you won't. See you this afternoon.